Hello, welcome back to my kitchen. I have remembered to turn the mic on. You can see this little green dot. So we are good to go on today's video. Today I'm going to make for you bread. This seems like a simple thing. I could just buy some bread at the store. There are many problems with this. Number one, I have celiac disease. Therefore, I can't buy typical bread at the store because it needs to be gluten-free. Problem number two, gluten-free breads are notorious for having many different emulsifiers in them because gluten is usually the thing that helps flour stick together and be a nice fluffy texture. Gluten-free breads have a lot of emulsifiers because they don't have gluten, which is that sticky, fluffy factor in bread. When I found out I had celiac disease, I bought all of these gluten-free products and I ate them and enjoyed them. But I do not think that helped me. Eventually, I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease, and I sometimes wonder if the emulsifiers that are more intense in the gluten-free foods are one of the reasons why I got so sick from Crohn's. Because there are tons and tons of studies out there that show that emulsifiers, especially the artificial ones, damage the gut lining. And this is part of what we see in colitis. Colitis is an inflammation on the gut lining. In my case, I saw pictures of it from my colonoscopy. It looked like a rash. It looked like I had shingles on the inside of my intestine, and it was also very painful. I would like to avoid these kinds of things. Also, I did a video about emulsifiers right there, and I try to cook without using products. In fact, I don't even buy products for the most part that have artificial emulsifiers in them. Bread is very hard to find without emulsifiers. So that is another problem. A third problem with traditional bread and gluten-free bread is that it contains yeast. Maybe you did not think yeast was a problem, neither did I. But there are studies showing, I will link these down below, showing that brewer's yeast, baker's yeast, and nutritional yeast all cause autoimmune autobodies in people who have Crohn's disease, and possibly another disease called something else, which I'll put a link down below too. It's a skin disease with a complicated name, and I don't have it, but people do. And these yeasts are linked to problems in those people as well. Now, yeast makes bread rise also, and it makes bread tasty and yeasty, and I love that smell of proofing or baking yeast bread. But I do not want to be eating that on a regular basis. I do go out to eat sometimes, and when I do, we usually pick a pizza place that has a gluten-free pizza crust, and then I have them pile on the vegetables and leave off all the meat and cheese. And this makes it typically completely plant-based and much healthier. And then I can have something that's a little bit filling, but that does not tear up my insides like having a huge salad would. So I'm sure there is yeast in those crusts, but I don't want to be eating that every day because I know that it doesn't do great things for my insides. So I have done tons and tons of recipe testing with different people's suggestions for gluten-free, plant-based bread. And I have come up with a favorite, and I've put my own twist on it, and I think that you might like it as well. Now, there are very few people who have quite this many restrictions. There are very few people who are sensitive to yeast. But if you have Crohn's disease or colitis, or maybe other autoimmune challenges, then this is something you might want to consider in which case I am here to help. Come with me as we make some bread together. Mike's still functioning. Good. I have my KitchenAid mixer here. You don't need a KitchenAid mixer for this, but I think it helps. I'm going to put in 2.5 cups of my favorite gluten-free flour. Well, I had a mic problem last time. This time I forgot to press record because it is Sunday, and on Sunday I work with kids with developmental difficulties at church. You can check out my other channel. I will link videos here and a link. Because I'm a speech language pathologist, I work with kids who are on different developmental trajectories and have some unique personality quirks. I forgot to turn, anyway, I'm usually very tired on Sundays, and so I should not film, but I needed to make bread, and I thought, you would love to see this, wouldn't you? And I was right. You do love seeing this, and so I'm not sorry. What I have done is 2.5 cups of this flour, which is my favorite because you'll notice it's gluten-free and it's pretty healthy because a lot of it is beans. Can you see? Is it focused? Anyway, and it doesn't have any emulsifiers. No xanthan gum, garbanzo bean flour, potato starch, tapioca flour, whole grain sorghum flour, and fava bean flour. So there's even a goodly amount of nutrition in this flour. Put 2.5 cups of that. I put 5 tablespoons of arrowroot powder. I put a teaspoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon salt. I use iodized because we do need iodine in our diets. This is the dry ingredients mix. Now we need to create the wet ingredients. We are going to do that with this Pyrex container. I'm going to fill it up to the 2 cups mark with water. That's it. Now I'm going to put in 3 tablespoons of psyllium husk powder. I am usually a reasonably good speller, but this word, psyllium, it's very difficult for me to spell. I'll get there. This stuff is magic. Oh, also before I do this, I need a whisk, because this process goes fast. 1, 2, 3. And now we whisk. Oh, you can't even see it. There we go. Just watch what happens to this. We get all the stuff that's on the side, because this thickens like nobody's business very, very quickly. It's already very gooey. Okay, we have mixed it. You can see the texture is like a very thick caramel. Now we're going to set that aside for about 10 minutes, at which time I will return. Alrighty, it has been some minutes, and this is the state of the psyllium husk powder. Now, don't just get psyllium husk, by the way. You can also get that. I have that for other recipes sometimes, but this is psyllium husk powder. It's more finely ground. As you can see, we have simply put it into the pot. One time I did this, and this went in so fast that the flour all puffed up all over the place, and we do not want that. So dump it in slowly if you can. Now we're putting on my bread hook. I'm not an expert, but it seems sturdy. I'm also going to add about a tablespoon of this apple cider vinegar. Number 1, it's very good for you. Number 2, it does something special in this bread. So do that. Look, it's already fizzing. And now enjoy this I'm going to turn this a little bit more. Enjoy this experience of watching this mix up. I will be beating it because the flour tends to rise up and escape from the bowl. No, don't come out. Ah, just like that. Look, it did it. I thought I was on top of it, but now it's everywhere. What a disaster. Well, cooking is messy. Sometimes it happens. I recommend one of those blenders that has the guard at the top so that this doesn't happen, but I do not have such a blender. And so we make do with what we do have because it is more friendly for the earth. But maybe I could find one that attaches onto the blender that I do have. See if that helps at all. I have stopped the blender. That must mean something has happened. You want to blend it until the flour is all incorporated. Look at that. And the dough kind of looks sort of smooth. That's the plan. So this bread is done being mixed. Let us shape it. I have preheated the oven to 390 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I'm going to shape this loaf of bread. I want it to look kind of square because it does get much bigger, puffy, and a lot of times if I let it slope down too much on the sides, then it ends up the side loaf pieces, the side pieces are very short and not as nice for sandwiches. So I try to make it more like a stubby log. A brick. It's a dough brick. And now I'm going to do a little slicing on top. One time I sliced it just down the middle, and when it came out, it looked like a tiny little baby's butt. So I do a different design now. I'm going to put it in the oven for 55 minutes on 390 degrees Fahrenheit. I just crashed my hand into the fridge. Okay, the timer has gone off. It is time to take the bread out of the oven. It looks fantastic. I'm going to pick it up so you can see it. Does that not look amazing? Now we are going to wait probably 10 minutes for it to cool down a bit, and then we're going to be able to slice it. And I will show you what's on the meal menu tonight using this bread. The bread has cooled down and it is on a cutting board now because I'm going to cut it. Obviously, I recommend a serrated knife because that is what is best for bread. It's still a little bit hot, but I want to show you what I'm going to make for dinner. And I want to show you how well this cuts, especially considering that it is gluten-free, and how squishy it is. Look at the nice air bubbles in there. So nice. I'm going to make open-faced sandwiches tonight. Also, you can cut it fairly thin. Oh, it's thinner than I intended. And also, my knife needs sharpening. Ooh, it's still hot. But I mean, really, that is a lovely piece of bread. It smells good. Now let me show you what kind of open-faced sandwich I'm going to make. I'm going to start with cashew cheese. It is, as it sounds, like cheese that is made from cashews and some other tasty things. This is homemade. You can also buy a brand called Treeline, which is also safe for me to eat. In fact, I didn't even think about making my own cashew cheese because it did not sound appealing to me until I tried Treeline's one time. And it was so delicious that I wanted more. And it was very expensive because cashews are expensive. So I thought, I looked at the ingredients and I thought, I wonder if I can make this. And indeed I could. And I did. And it was delicious. I don't think I have a video yet for making cashew cheese on this channel, but I will. And if I don't already, I will make one. Oh, here you go. This is Dijon mustard. I am okay with mustard. Well, there's cashew cheese everywhere. But if you are not, don't use it. This is also very good with hummus on it. But I did not make any hummus, and I don't have any store-bought hummus in the house at the moment. So this is the mixture we're doing today. Now I'm going to add some greens. I do not eat a lot of greens raw because they are hard for me to digest. But this many greens I can do. Hummus would also add some more protein to this dish. Now I'm going to add some air-fried bell peppers, which are my favorite vegetable and which I absolutely love crispy and air-fried like this. Sometimes I air-fry them along with some very thinly sliced onions, which is also delicious, but I didn't do that today. Then I'm going to add a slice of tomato on top. The lighting isn't perfect, and my sandwich has collapsed, but you can see how delicious this will be. I have some homemade baked beans in the fridge, and I'm going to have those on the side, and maybe even some Fritos. Now, Fritos are an ultra-processed food. They are not healthy, but I love them. Okay, this is better. You can kind of see, peek under there. And I mean, you could have another piece of bread on top if you want. I just happen to like doing open-faced because I can get more of the goods in there and still get my mouth around it. But this is a delicious recipe. I'm so happy to have sandwiches again that don't hurt my guts. And I hope that you enjoy this recipe. Also, this is very good bread when you toast it. I toast it in my air fryer because I don't have a toaster anymore that works. It started on fire. But I toast it in the air fryer and then I put jam on it. Sometimes I put peanut butter and jam on it. And it is delicious that way as well. I hope this recipe brings you joy. Thank you for hanging out with me.